Alright guys, no matter where you look in the Casio lineup, you're sure to find something that is just going to be cool. And in this case, I was looking at the Edifice lineup, which there are a ton of Edifice watches to choose from, and they seem to have stepped their game up a little bit. Sapphire crystals like this one are starting to appear in the lineup, as well as like Bluetooth and some other options. But this guy here is the here, I'll show you the box. It's the EFR-S107D-1AVCR. I'll put a link. I purchased this on Amazon, and shameless plug, I will actually give an Amazon affiliate link in the description, which, you know, I get. It doesn't cost you anymore, but I think I get like a percentage or something. Comes in one of these Casio tins, a little bit bigger, you know, but similar in the whole G-Shock fashion that Casio does. So packaging is pretty basic, but sufficient. You know, you can use that tin for other things for sure. But the claim to fame with this is two things. One, sapphire crystal. And two is its size. Most importantly, how thin it is. Crazy thin. So the size of this guy is 41.5 millimeter. That's not including this bump where the crown guards are crown. 47.5 millimeter lug tip to lug tip. Only 8.45 millimeter thin. Crazy thin. Especially for what the price is. This thing is only $100. 20 millimeter lug width. Bracelet tapers down to 18. The bracelet is, well, not amazing. 3 micro adjust double pushers, and kind of noisy. It's split pin, which is fine. I don't really have an issue with that. You know, hollow end links. The bracelet is definitely not its strong point. So as you can see here, they're actually folded together kind of links. So it's finished well for how they construct it, but you can tell it's just, you know, inexpensive, which the whole watch is inexpensive. So it's just cool that they were able to put something like this together. So on the dial, you can look, has a very cool texture to it. You have nice applied indices, and the indices also, if you catch them in the light just right, they have a little bit of greenish aqua color to them, as well as the sapphire printing there, 100 meter water resist, and of course that seconds hand you can see ticking away. It, well, as far as hitting the marks, it kind of hits the marks. It does hit the marks more so than it doesn't. It depends on what angle you're looking at and all that good stuff, but it snaps into place really good, and it, for the most part, hits the marks. These screws here are basically faux screws, non-screw down crown signs, just going to be a push-pull. The module on this guy is labeled on the back. You can see it's a 5359. There's the model number of the watch. Cased in China, Japanese movement, all that good stuff, stainless steel, sapphire crystal. So sapphire crystal is always nice to have. You guys know that, especially if you actually intend to wear the watch, maybe do a few things in it. It's just not going to really scratch. I know I have actually handled a couple watches from rough users that actually did scratch the sapphire crystal Homer, and it takes a lot to do that. So, but really nice brushed finishing on this. I mean, I think it's just a really good watch for the $100 price point. It works for me for sure. Let me pop this guy on wrist. You can see there on my 7 1/4 inch wrist, super thin. You know, thin watches, especially if you get them, you know, closer to like, you know, somewhere between 40 and 42, which this one being a 41.5, you're there, and then the 47.5 millimeter lug tip to lug tip. Yeah, this thing's gonna work for a lot of people's wrist for sure. So yeah, just fun stuff. So there is another downside to this besides the bracelet, and we're going to show that in a minute. I'm going to try to show you the lume. My camera, the iPhone, is going to pick the lume up probably better than what it actually is. Now, I already did sample this before to the naked eye, and there is some lume on the hands, meaning the hour and minute hand, and there is like no lume on the indices. So I know it's a spoiler, but be prepared for very lackluster lume. Yeah, so I mean, it's having a hard time focusing because it is so dark. There's, yeah, it's not even worth really talking about. But other than the fact that you do need to know that those indices look like there's real estate for lume, but they did not put lume on them. So that's a big letdown. But I think the thinness of the watch is just so cool, and the size of it. You know, it's not like a 45 millimeter watch that's 8.5 millimeter thick. It's actually a reasonable size all around, and it's crazy thin, and it has a sapphire crystal. So to me, that works good. And $100 price point, that's well within most people's comfort range. I did show a video on how to size these, so even if you're not familiar with sizing bracelets, this bracelet was easy to size. The split pins come out and go back in, no problem. It works, no problem. So comfortable watch, affordable watch, weighs in at, sized for my wrist, it weighs in at 104 grams. So it has a nice mid-weight to it. It's not as light as you would think it is, actually, being a quartz and it's thin. You can tell it's there. It's actually got a little bit of weight to it, but it's obviously not heavy. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next vid.